Hi, this is William Jimenez. Today I would like to go over blogging on Masterdigm. Now, blogging is probably one of the most important things you can do for your business. Let me explain how you could do it on Masterdigm and why, by using Masterdigm, can actually help you increase your rankings throughout the internet with respect to keyword phrases. Let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is click on websites on your tab. And when you click on websites, you can see possibly various websites that you may own with us. Okay, each one is very highly organic and so forth. But what you want to do first is click on Manage. So choose the property that or the website you have and click on Manage. When you click on Manage, you're going to go to the dashboard. Today we're going to go only over how to add content. So you're going to click on Content Manager, hover over it, and add new content. When you click on Add New Content, there's a few aspects here that you should know. First of all, what you want to do is always make sure that your title of your page is consistent with the keyword phrase that you're shooting for. So for example, if you're looking to sell property in a certain city, you may say, let's say, Orange County, California, homes for sale. That would be something you would write inside your title. Then after you write that title, that should be keyword based, you're going to want to write some keywords in here as well, possibly just emulate the keywords inside the title and just select comma and maybe put homes, comma. This area is not so important anymore for the keywords. Meta description is very important because it offers the ability for people to see what that page is about in the search results. So you want to make sure that your meta description has some of the keyword phrases that you're using in the title. So something to the effect like looking for Orange County homes in California, search here, something to that effect. And then with that said, this is going to be the most important part when you blog. I would recommend a few aspects, and I'll type them up right here. As you can see here, the way that I would suggest is writing blogs between 300 to 700 words per blog. Keyword phrase in the first sentence of the first paragraph. So you want to make sure that when you write your first paragraph that the keyword phrase is in the first sentence, you see. And then try to use the keyword or the keyword phrase a few times, but do not spam. Make it sound like quality. If you overdo it, there is going to be some penalization in terms of how you write your content. If you underwrite it, then it may not have the ability, or Google or any other search engine, the ability to understand what the page is really about. So give it some information and use that keyword phrase properly, but don't spam. And I would recommend to use bullets. So now how do you use this inside of Masterdigm? The first thing I would recommend is when you write, you're going to be using this tab over here called Content. It's brand new, and I'll explain how this works. So in this case, I would type, let's say you're typing the 300 or 700 words, and you type, if you are looking for, so you're blogging, then you use this content, and you're going to add one of your websites here. So choose one of your websites that you have content, and let's say I'm going to choose home purchase, and these are the content that have been written through the course of time. When you go to content items, you'll see these content pages. So if you're looking for Dana Point homes for sale, then you may consider rates for today, okay, period. And then you can continue to say, what do I want to write about? You may say something to the effect that homes for sale in Dana Point and surrounding cities. So my point of the matter is that you're going to start hyperlinking your content, your previous written content, to a today's written blog. Okay, so the most important thing is that when you write blogs that you hyperlink to prior content that has been written, because if you don't write or hyperlink to those prior pages, then those pages are sitting basically orphan, and they don't have any trust factor or voting to that page. When you hyperlink to the pages, then you're using the exact anchor text that you chose for that page to be found for. So if I want to write about other things, I may look for maybe under real estate. It'll pull up real estate topics, and then what you do is go ahead and write about those. So in either case, what you're going to want to do then is you may want to bullet. Now you may say, why to buy? Consider the following, something to this effect. And then what you're going to want to do is to go ahead and, let's say, do something like this, where you're going to start doing bullets. So why buy in this market? Number two, consider maybe other things that you've written about as time continues. Rates for today, and you just move things over. And this is a great way to hyperlink to prior content in bullets. And Google sees bullets as another very important aspect of your content, which will give it some more oomph up the search engine rankings. Okay, so hyperlink your content. Very similar to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is probably one of the #1 websites out in the market because of the fact of that linking strategy that they have internally. Their own internal strategy is enough power to generate for pushing up other pages up the internet, up the search engine results. So do the same exact thing by using this content and choosing here. Once you're done writing your content, you're going to want to categorize your content to what you've written on, and then finally hit save. When you hit save, then what will happen is, of course, there's some aspects. If you hit save and you didn't go to your settings tab, you're going to want to publish your content. So you hit publish. You can show in the latest post. That means on the home page of your website. Now over here you can make it private or public content. Typically keep it public. And then author names. You could show your name as an author of who wrote the content, the created date, which is very important. So I would say for now on, when you write content, show the created date for many reasons. Google's looking for dates and will help you push those pages up the rankings because they're looking for a freshness of content. So use created date. And then I would also recommend locality is something that we're not doing just yet. And then go to related articles by category, say yes. Okay. Then featured content, again, that could be the home page, yes or no. Show an archive, you can say yes or no. Show a PDF on your web page, and I would always say show in feeds when you're done. And when you're done, then hit save. If you don't say show in feeds, it will not be part of your RSS feed or your sitemap feeding to Google Webmaster Tools. So again, to recap, your title must be very distinct. Do not have the same title over and over again. Have your keywords kind of emulate your title. Your meta descriptions, write something in here so that people will want to go ahead and click on your link. Write 300 to 700 words, keyword phrase in the first sentence. Do not spam. Use bullets, and then using this content tab to go ahead and hyperlink to prior content. You do that, you're going to be in great position. Last but not least, I would consider using the web form here, one of your web forms that you wrote. So maybe it could be a capture form, and then you just simply put in a bracket web form, and what will happen is when this page gets searched on the net, there will be a web form on this website. So just simply put web form using the add a form here. So with that said, hope this all helps. Any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you very much and make it a great day. Bye-bye.